Because they're looking at possibly signing Yan Couto, the right back from Manchester City. Now, right off the bat, I think this would be a great signing. I think Yan Couto would go into Dortmund and he immediately fits that system and he'd immediately make an impact because the kind of right back that he is exactly the kind that you see thrive in that attacking possession-based kind of football that Dortmund like to play, right? Like Yan Couto is the same mold as like a Jeremy Frimpong, right? A Hakimi, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Alphonso Davies, right? Like think of players like that, João Cancelo, and just fullbacks who their best attributes are going forward and attacking, but defensively it's a bit shaky, right? Even a Ian Maatsen, right? And we saw how well he played for Dortmund on loan last season, and I think Yan Couto is maybe even a little better than what Ian Maatsen is because this guy is one of the best crossers of the ball in world football. Last season at Girona, when they were doing the madness, when they came top 4, when they were cooking Barcelona, playing some great football, Yan Couto was a big reason why they look so dangerous going forward. Defensively, as I said, it's a bit shaky. And I kind of rate Yan Couto, but at the same time, I don't. Because Vinicius had this man crying at the Bernabeu. Literally. Go look up Yan Couto crying after having to defend Vinny for 90 minutes. It was crazy. Vinny was cooking his ass. I was like, oh my God, what's that meme? And it's like, no, stop. He's dead already. I was like, Vinny, have some compassion for your Brazilian brother. You're skinning him alive in front of 80,000 people. This man cried. The Real Madrid players, the Brazilian ones, had to console him after the game. That's how bad he got cooked. Like, it was crazy. But aside from that, I just can't get that memory. Because, see, like, I don't really like seeing players cry, right? Like, what are you crying for? Like, I don't want my players crying. You go cry in the locker room. I don't want you crying on the pitch, doing it for the cameras and whatnot. Man up, right? I'm a little toxic masculinity when it comes to that whole stuff right there. I don't believe players should be crying. Unless you just lost a Champions League final, a World Cup final, something like that, fair enough. But if you put in a bad performance and got cooked, don't cry. Go train and get better. Or cry at home. We don't want to see that, bro. Anyways, his loan at Girona ended, and he's a Man City player, right? And it's actually funny because City have signed Savio, right? Who was his teammate at Girona, the Brazilian winger, who's a baller. And now they're bringing back Yan Couto. And if I was City, I wouldn't sell him, to be honest. Obviously, they have Kyle Walker. So Yan Couto might not start a lot of games if he ends up staying with City. But I think in that Pep system, because they control so much of the ball, he would have the opportunities to be on the ball a lot more, whip in crosses, and not defend that much. Because usually when City are playing, they're controlling about 65 to 68% of the possession. Like, teams are more so sitting back. And they already have Erling Haaland, who's great in the air, one of the best strikers in the world because of his off-the-ball movement. Yan Couto whipping in those crosses, I think he'd cook at City. But, yeah, Dortmund are looking at him, and I think he would want this move because, again, like I said, they have Kyle Walker. And even though I don't think Kyle Walker's that good, right? And actually, I'd say that Yan Couto might be better than Kyle Walker because Kyle Walker can't defend and he can't attack. Kyle Walker is just fast. Let's be honest. The guy can't pass. He can't cross the ball. He can't shoot. He can't score. He can't link play. He can't defend. He's not good at 1v1s. He can't slide tackle. He can't regular tackle. He doesn't really intercept. The only thing that he has to offer is pace. And that is an important attribute. But more times than not, you don't need Kyle Walker out there. Like, the only time that you need Kyle Walker to start games is if you're going against, like, Mbappe or Vinicius or Nico Williams. Lamine Yamal, right? Like, that's when you would need a Kyle Walker if you're going to be going against really fast, tricky wingers, because obviously their pace can kill you, and Kyle Walker does have a lot of speed. But regardless, look, Kyle Walker is a legend at Man City. He's won everything. He's been there damn near since the beginning of their era of dominance, right? And yeah, Yan Couto is not going to go in there and just replace him. So, he might be looking at it from that POV saying, yo, I want to play. And Dortmund, even though I don't rate them, because to me, Dortmund are the equivalent of human traffickers, okay? They look for young kids, buy them for cheap, and then they want to make them good and sell them for profit. Dortmund don't care about winning. Dortmund don't care about actually competing in the Bundesliga. This is why, even though their biggest rivals are Bayern Munich, Bayern come and take their best players off them all the damn time. They do business all the time. That's why people don't rate the Bundesliga, because it's just a feeder system for Bayern, literally. But what I will give Dortmund credit for is they are arguably the best team in the world at developing talent. I will give them that. How many times do we see players come in, perform really well, they get sold for big profits? Like, that's what keeps the lights on at Aduna Park, or however the hell you say, wherever they play at. So he goes to Dortmund, maybe stays there for a season or two, then he gets a big move in the future. But he is a good player. He is. But again, he's more so attack-minded, right? As I said, think of Frimpong, Hakimi, Trent Alexander-Arnold, like guys like that, right? Like, that's the mold that he is. Going forward, it's fantastic. If he has to defend, depending on who's that left winger, he might be in for a long day, as we saw after he cried at the Bernabeu, okay? But yeah, man, let me know what you guys think about this, right? I think he has a 40 million release clause. Obviously, Dortmund are not going to pay that, right? Dortmund are a team, as I said, they want to buy players for cheap, and they're going to maybe look to get the deal done for about 20, 25 million. If you're Man City, I wouldn't sell him. I'd want to see him in this Pep system. I'd want to see what he can offer them. And again, Kyle Walker is like, 34 years old? He's getting up there in age. And, I think that there would be opportunities for Yan Couto, because there's going to be a lot of games, right? Because City got to play in the Premier League. There's the FA Cup, Carabao Cup. The Champions League is also now expanded, right? Like, there's going to be more Champions League games. Like, next season, we're going to be seeing Champions League games in January. We usually don't see that. Like, it's gonna be crazy. So, look, there's gonna be enough games for everybody. But yeah, Yan Couto's a decent player. Was obviously very integral to what Girona did last season. And yeah, I'm gonna be interested to see what he does. But if he goes to Dortmund, I wouldn't be mad at him, because Dortmund have every incentive in the world to make sure that you reach your potential, because they want to sell you and make profit. So, as I said, if I was a young player, I'm going to Dortmund. Shoot. Stay there for my little 2 years, then get a big move. Crazy.